Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week of the Shades of Red podcast. I've got Cam, Kraigen, and Levi with me again. Um, this week, today's an exciting day. A lot of stuff going on. Bryan Harsin gets fired from Auburn. The same day that they hired a new AD. A lot of people talking about that right now. This week is also the week is Tennessee Georgia week, number one versus Tennessee, who's tied for number two. And then we had a lot of upsets this past weekend. This past weekend was like the weekend of upsets.
Our picks are not as good as it was last week, man.
No, our picks are going to be bad this weekend. I think Levi did the best. Levi, what were the standings from this past weekend?
All right, so in first was a tie between Joey, Kraigen,
Wow.
and me.
Wow.
You love to see.
Hey, you know what? You know what's coming between the three of us? We all picked UCF to beat Cincinnati.
We all went 14-4.
14-4. There were 18 picks last week.
Joey got VT, Syracuse, Wake, and South Carolina wrong.
Yeah.
Kraigen got Syracuse, Oklahoma State, Wake Forest, and South Carolina wrong.
Yeah.
I got Oklahoma State, Wake Forest, South Carolina, and Texas A&M wrong.
Nice.
I really wanted to change that Texas A&M pick because we picked it before the entire midweek meltdown, but I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
And then Cam went 13-5.
Wow.
Because he didn't pick UCF like an idiot.
I guess it offsets from when I was the only one who picked Illinois when we played when they played Minnesota, and you guys all picked Minnesota. So I guess we're even now.
What are the standings on the season so far?
I mean, pretty much nobody moved anywhere. Joey is 59-23. I'm 58-24. Cam is 50-13.
Jesus.
And Kraigen is 49-33.
Nice.
Did you say 39-43?
49-33.
49.
Yeah.
He's positive?
Yes, sir.
I guess going 14-4 really helped you out.
Granted, we did have 18 picks last week and got 14
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I mean, I don't even think anybody's gone negative for a week. I think everybody's been at least 500 or better.
Yeah. That
I'm at a
one week you guys
69%.
did well. I went 6-6, the worst. So.
Yeah.
50 out of 63 is a great hit rate. Just need you guys to start going against the grain so I can catch up.
I don't know. We might see some of that this week. This week's going to be a crazy one pick-wise, I think.
There's 1 games?
Yeah, I think Levi said there are 21.
Well, the AP poll version, there might be less based off of the college football rankings that come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I forgot about okay, so these picks are based off the AP rankings that are today, because obviously we don't know what the playoff poll is going to be.
No.
Yeah.
The following week we'll do it based on the playoff poll.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
we post on Tuesday.
Nice. That'll be good.
Hold on, my computer's being slow. Like I said, Harsin gets fired. All Auburn fans are now praying for Lane Kiffin or Coach Prime from Jackson State.
AKA Auburn
Neither is
fans.
gonna happen.
I don't. I don't think they should go after Dion right now. I also don't think Dion would leave for Auburn right now.
Yeah.
He's not going to leave us.
Frost is more their level.
I think it would look really bad on him to, praise HBCUs and talk all highly and get these, really high-rated recruits to come in and then leave them behind or immediately just take
They
that.
won't be left.
They won't be left behind. They'll transfer with him or they'll go wherever they were originally going to go. Like, Hunter was going to go to FSU. And maybe he would if if Dion left Jackson State. But
Any chance of Travis Hunter actually going to Florida State was squashed when they just had the public meltdown on Twitter and started attacking the kid for going to Jackson State. So
oh yeah, that's right.
That bridge is burnt beyond repair.
Yeah.
Well, still, if Dion left and Travis Hunter left with him, or any other recruit left with him, then Jackson State becomes immediately worse, marginally, and right back into the ground all HBCUs go.
They're gonna, regardless of when Sanders leaves, that's gonna happen.
It'll happen, but if he has enough recruits come in, and then all these guys are behind the thought of HBCUs, and they're like, okay, I'm going to stick here for my culture and for me, instead of like I'm only here for Coach Prime because he said he was going to be here. If you get like 4 or 5 recruiting cycles through, I think you're fine if you leave. I think you have enough talent at that point that you can leave, and not everyone's going to go with you. And that would make it easier on the next coach. But if you left like right now, it would be like Dave Clawson leaving Wake Forest. They just immediately become bad.
What class is his son in right now? Is he a freshman or a sophomore?
Who?
His son is.
Oh, his son. Yeah.
I'm thinking if maybe once he graduates, if he doesn't play all 4 years, he might leave.
But I think coaching candidates for the Auburn job are Lane Kiffin, Matt Rule, Baylor's offensive coordinator, whose name I can't remember at the moment, Jeff Grimes. That sounds right. Yeah. Maybe Bill O'Brien.
Oh man.
Head coaching job, not so much a coordinator job. It's a little different.
Kraigen would.
Oh, he would love that. I know. He's so tired of O'Brien as an OC. I can't really think of anyone else.
Fire Harsin until after the Iron Bowl, though. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, a lot of Auburn fans are talking about Hugh Freeze because they don't realize that just 3 days ago, Hugh Freeze signed a contract through 2030 that gives him $5 million a year. So it doesn't look like he's going to leave Liberty anytime soon.
I think I just think they're going to go after a proven Power 5 head coach.
Yeah.
Because they've kind of hit on the
G5 wagon.
Yeah, they you can only hit so many times going on a G5.
Yeah.
Person, and they hit with Gene Chizik. They won a national championship with him, regardless. How it ended. Gus Malzahn wasn't horrible. They did win an SEC title with him.
Yeah.
They won 2 division titles with him. So it wasn't awful. And obviously Bryan Harsin did not.
They didn't really give Harsin much time anyway, and they were trying to get him out of the door after year 1 by making up stories about him having an affair. Yeah. But I was on YouTube watching a one of the Auburn fans talk about it, and someone commented and said, Auburn's not going to be good. They're going to be stuck where they are until they realize that the boosters and the fans are so toxic that anyone who goes there isn't going to last.
That's not that. It's just you can't dick around.
I mean, no, but you also have to be able to get your guys in who are going to fit your scheme.
But look, welcome to the SEC. That's pretty much every team but Vanderbilt and Missouri.
Kentucky gave Mark Stoops time.
And guess what? I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Stoops end up being the coach of Auburn.
Actually, you're right. I've seen Mark Stoops as well, now that I mentioned his name.
Because honestly, I think if Auburn were to get an SEC coach, I think it would be Mark Stoops more than Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lane
I agree.
Not at all. They're not getting Lane at all.
But again, it's the problem of and we talked about it last year with Florida and Billy Napier. You can't just expect year one to magically fix all of the shit that gets left behind.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
it's time to implement your program and everything into it.
And because I've already seen Florida fans bitching about Napier, and now the Brenton Cox getting dismissed. All of this stems from Dan Mullen leaving that shit show behind, and you can't he's not going to just come in and win 10 games magically.
See, and the problem is, if a coach does come in and magically win 10 games, then the pressure put on that coach to win, 9, 10 plus games again is very high. It's something that was seen at Virginia Tech when Frank Beamer left. Fuente came in with Beamer's recruits, went 10-2, lost by 7 in the ACC championship game, and then from there on it was just all downhill.
Let's be very clear, though. If there's any coach in the country that could get this Auburn roster to 10 wins year one, it maybe would be Nick Saban. And that's a big maybe. Their roster is not that good. They don't have a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Tank Bigsby, nobody else.
Pretty much the only thing good about that team is Tank Bigsby.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's one dude. He can do so much. And so
Well, I don't know if you saw me put it in the chat earlier, but Cadillac Williams is the interim head coach.
Oh yeah.
He's just he's gonna be there, and
he's only interim coach because he's like the big name you have on staff who's alum and kind of understands the Auburn culture, aside from their defensive backs coach.
That's pretty much what you want your interim coach to be. You just don't want your. Better to have like that. But the thing is, he's going to be a placeholder. Auburn.
It's like what Wisconsin and Nebraska is doing with their interim head coaches. They have Jim Leonard at Wisconsin, and they have Mickey Joseph at Nebraska. Interim head coaches are just players who used to play there. They're just seeing how they're going to end the season. They probably won't get.
That's what Virginia Tech did last year, too. After they fired Fuente, J.C. Price was a defensive tackle for Virginia Tech in the 90s. And now he's the assistant head coach with Brent Pry. He's the only coach they kept on staff.
And also, we should also mention this. Even with Harsin or Cadillac Williams or Jesus Christ himself, Auburn most likely only wins one more game this season, and that's home against Western Kentucky. They might be able to pull it off against Texas A&M, but Auburn's roster and the state that they're in right now is really bad. Texas A&M, granted, is probably the worst right now, but they at least still have some talent on the roster.
Yeah. Although, they did suspend indefinitely 4 of their 5-star, or not 5-star, but number 1 class recruits that they just got. So.
Yeah, but they weren't playing.
Yeah.
But still, it's just amazing to me, away from like the Auburn thing, just in general, how you have like the most functioning, like, best programs in the country in like Georgia and Alabama, and like right now Tennessee. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, those are the best functioning programs, maybe outside of like Ohio State. And then for Power 5 wise, you just have the most shit show of programs in the SEC also with Texas A&M and Auburn and Florida. It's amazing to like how big of a difference it is in the SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
Top on the bottom is just disgustingly wide.
Yeah.
Because you got Alabama, Tennessee this year, and Georgia on top, and you've got Vanderbilt and Missouri on the bottom.
I mean, honestly, look, and it's something I thought about today is this might have been the smartest career move for Brian Kelly, because he's a shit show, but he's going to a place where he's got bigger shit shows that he has to compete with to get national attention for his shit show.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of coasting right now with LSU and getting some wins, while these other schools are just hitting themselves.
People have them ranked 15th right now this week, so not that they deserve it, but I don't think they do. But they're ranked 15 right now.
Yeah. One of the losses was only to a missed extra point against Florida State in Week 1. They could be 7-1 or 6-2. Well, no, not 6-2, 6-1. Right? What are they? 5-2 or 6-2?
They're 6-2.
6-2.
Yeah.
6-2, yeah.
Yeah, I was right. They could be 7-1.
Yeah, you were right the first time. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you keep winning, and so I mean, especially Ole Miss was what when they beat them? Were they 7? And they stomped the shit out.
Yeah, there was what was it? 42-3 run they went on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ole Miss was 8-0 at the time too. So that was their first loss, giving up that huge comeback to LSU. So.
Yeah, they really only got blitzed by Tennessee, and that was their only bad performance of the year.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think their game against Auburn was pretty bad despite winning.
Yeah. They've played a lot of bad games this year, but they've just been able to win them.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, look, would you rather take 12 bad wins or 10 good ones?
Yeah.
If you're going to win, might as well win.
Depends on how Game 13 looks.
Hey, look, no, I'm telling you, you know how many teams, I mean, Alabama and Ohio State and them, they don't understand it, but you know how many programs right now would sell their soul for a 12-0 season, regardless of what the score is every game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nearly every school in the country besides
Probably every school. Probably Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, Michigan, maybe.
Dude, Virginia Tech fans right now would sell their soul to make a bowl game this year.
Yeah,
Michigan would
absolutely at all, even though they are doing good this year.
Yeah, Michigan would sell their soul for a 12-0 season. I mean, they might get it this year, depending on how they play Ohio State.
Wouldn't sell their soul because they're probably that close. They just need to be Ohio State. That's all they need to do.
Yeah, you need to sell your soul for that pretty much.
It's always a really close game, though.
I know, but they did it one time. I mean, how many years did they not beat Ohio State until last year?
Yeah, but there was only 1 year out of the 10 years from the 2010s where they were undefeated though going into that. But they finally fixed those. Finally fixed those mistakes. So really, if they can just beat Ohio State in 3 weeks, I wouldn't say they would be selling their soul for it.
I mean,
because
I'm saying more of they just. I mean, they probably wouldn't now, but in terms of recent history, teams that would, they are one of them. Because when was the last time they finished a season undefeated?
Yeah, under Harbaugh especially, they would, because they've been. I think below expectation is pretty fair for most of the Harbaugh's time.
Yeah.
I would love to talk about, because I have a lot of opinions on this game, is Kentucky and Tennessee.
Oh my gosh. I watched that whole game. while working.
I watched the whole game. I quit after the third quarter. I couldn't do it anymore.
I quit watching when they put Joe Milton in, but
I mean, I knew Tennessee was going to win.
Yeah.
I knew that. I didn't think it would be this bad. I mean, in terms of like scoring, how much they got scored against, this was like Tennessee's second easiest game of the year.
Yeah.
Outside of the UT Martin, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I did say that.
No, UT Martin scored 24 on Tennessee.
Yeah.
Kentucky scored less than UT Martin did.
Yeah.
UT Martin actually outscored Kentucky the entire game because UT Martin scored quicker in the game than Kentucky did.
Yeah.
And they made their extra point.
Yeah, didn't get that shit blocked.
I mean, Will Levis had 76 total yards.
Yeah. 3 picks.
And the biggest game of his career.
That's going to hurt the first-round prospect aspect.
You would think, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, no, he'll drop from like being the number 1 pick to the number 3 pick.
I don't understand. Like, it baffles me that. I mean, I don't see what the Will Levis thing is. I mean, he's career 37 touchdowns, 21 interceptions as a starter. I mean, that's awful. I mean, those are like Hall of Fame numbers in like the 70s, but we're in 2022, and he just got the shit kicked out of him and outplayed by Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
Tennessee's DBs too. The way they looked all season, just not as good as they should be. That's pretty embarrassing only to drop.
I mean, same team, same place, and Bryce Young put up how many yards and how many touchdowns?
Who?
It was 455 with 2 touchdowns.
I mean, Bryce Young had more yards after the first quarter
Than Will Levis overall.
Yeah.
Oh, I mentioned last week that Tennessee had to watch out for Tavion Robinson. He ended up with only 4 catches and 11 yards.
The only person on that team that actually played good was Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had their only touchdown.
Even then,
but he was also making like, he was breaking tackles in the backfield. I mean, poor guy. He was getting hit in the backfield pretty much every play. But he was pushing for more yards and he was doing good. But Kentucky, I don't know Tennessee's obviously really good, but I think it was more Kentucky's way is a lot more bad than we thought they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll be interested to see how. I'm really interested to see this Tennessee-Georgia game, just to like compare where other teams are, like because Georgia would have played Tennessee, and Alabama would have played Tennessee, and so like to see the difference between how each team plays each other.
Yeah, could be good playoff look ahead.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that game when we do this week's picks. We'll go a little more in depth on that one. Ohio State, Penn State was a good game this past weekend for 3 quarters.
Yeah, it went a lot farther than I thought it did. Me and Cam both were like, probably after a quarter or two, but Penn State was hanging in there 3 quarters, then they just folded.
Yeah.
It's old Penn State, Ohio State. It's the formula, how it's gone since 2016. It's going to be a close game until the 4th quarter, and then Penn State will fold. But this is an interesting way they did it this time. I mean, I'll give them credit. They shut the fuck out of Ohio State's running game. They couldn't do anything. For the second week in a row, Ohio State's rushing attack was kind of like not there. And Maya Williams got hurt. So it's the in and out system this year who's going to be starting for Ohio State. And like they did a great job. Sean Clifford overcame those 2 interceptions that he had in the first quarter. Parker Washington went crazy on us. And it was looking like it was going to go down to the wire, and then JT happened, and next thing you know, we're wondering Ohio State's going to cover with 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just he did so well to come back, but Sean Clifford really lost that game for him. I mean, he turned it over 4 times.
Yeah, a fumble and 3 picks.
You can't do that against Ohio State and expect to win. And
Yeah.
He did so well after the first 2 drives because I thought, honestly, after the first 2 drives, I thought Ohio State was about to clean their clock. And then they came back and were in it. I think they were even leading at one point, weren't they? 14.
Yeah, they're like throughout the second and third quarter, they're up, I think, 14-13 because they stopped Ohio State at the end of the second quarter. I think they were up. They had this weird sequence. I don't know if you guys saw it, but like they had 2 fourth down conversions, and then it was a fumble into the end zone.
Yeah.
And I think there was the 2 missed field goals that got called back because each side had a penalty.
Yeah.
Like it was all like a 5-play sequence.
Wow.
I think it was like 21-16 or something at that point.
I also think it's funny that this game was 44-31 and 60% of the points were scored in the final quarter.
Yeah.
Ohio State legit went on a 28-3 run in a 6 or 7 minute span.
Yeah.
Oh, they scored like 3 touchdowns in like a minute 30 seconds.
Yeah. I was gonna say they scored quick, several like the last couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, they had the Henderson like 40-yard rushing touchdown. Then they got the strip sack, and then they threw it to Cade Stover. He broke like 3 tackles. It was like back-to-back offensive plays with a touchdown. And then JT had to pick like I don't know like what play the Penn State's next drive.
I will say though, because this was pretty much my first time watching Ohio State this year, for multiple reasons. But I think if I had a couple takeaways from the game. Your offensive coordinator for Ohio State is whoever's calling plays for Ohio State sucks, and they should not be calling plays.
It's Ryan Day. He's the offensive coordinator.
He calls way too many fucking screen passes when they shouldn't be called. It was like 3rd and 12, and it was calling a screen pass. Like, holy fuck, throw the ball down the field.
The Warriors were not holding their blocks, and they get stuff behind the line a lot this game. I think it was like until like the third quarter. I think Emeka Egbuka had like a big play or his first catch. I mean, he finally got going in the fourth quarter. He had that deep connection that basically like ended the game. But like it kind of struggled to get him going. But at least they have Marvin Harrison Jr., who him and Hyatt right now, they are competing for the Blendikoff Award, honestly.
I think, as of right now, I think Hyatt's got it, but I was super impressed with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, he was great.
And I was really, really, really impressed with I'm not going to be able to pronounce his last name, but you said JT. I mean, just the impact he had on that game when he's needed most was just absolutely insane.
Yeah, let's talk about JT real quick because
he forced
Montana. That was the biggest loss of Washington under Jimmy Lake, was letting Ohio State take him out of our backyard and not recruiting him hard enough to get him to commit. It's awful.
Look, I mean, the kid had 2 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, 1 for a pick 6, 2 sacks, and 3 tackles for losses.
He also forced the 3rd interception by tipping it in the air.
What more can you want from a defensive player? Like, that's what
awesome.
Usually you want those stats from one of your players. He got all of them.
Yeah, that's peak 5-star. You can coach that at all.
Some people don't do that for a whole year. Let alone
he's only a sophomore. He's a sophomore.
Yeah.
They have him for an
true sophomore too. Like not a redshirt.
Yeah, that game it was for the first 3 quarters it was game of the week, and then it was just a normal ass kicking after that.
Yeah. I don't know. West Virginia TCU is pretty good for 4 quarters.
Yeah, game of the week for me was TCU West Virginia. That game was insane.
It was neck and neck on the whole game.
West Virginia don't give up a 50-yard play challenge.
Yeah, level impossible.
Their secondary just There he goes. Okay, nothing I can do about it.
And then West Virginia turns around and does, just dinks and dunks all the way down.
JT Daniels extravaganza.
It was insane. All the first 3 TCU touchdowns were all 50-plus yards. And then they had a 30-plus yard run, all in the first half.
I told you it would be a closer game than what the spread was.
I mean, it's not that I didn't believe you, but it's also the Big 12. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
You should expect shootouts in the Big 12, basically. Unless you're in Stillwater, who decided to drop 0 points.
Yeah.
Can't beat me to it, but I was just about to say,
this is the second time.
Let's talk about Oklahoma State.
This is the second time this year I proclaimed a team was going to win in the Big 12, and they put up 0 points. They decided to represent me by putting up 0 points, and they were from both Oklahoma teams.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
So, and it's not that. Let's talk about the dual top 10 teams getting their asses whipped, because Wake Forest went to Louisville and got the shit kicked out of them.
I don't know.
That was his upset pick of the week. So
35 points against them in a quarter.
In the third quarter alone.
He threw 2 pick sixes in a quarter.
How do you have turnovers, man? 8.
They turned the ball over 6 of their 7 drives in the third quarter.
Yeah, and Hartman threw 3 picks too. Like you said, the 2 pick sixes there.
Like, that is... The first one was a 50-yard pick six, I think, and the second one, they were literally, like, in the end zone. I think it was, like, near 100.
Wow.
Yeah, they ran Sam Hartman 12 times, too, and he got negative 24 yards total.
Like, that was... I was shocked. I mean, Louisville does stuff like this. They just randomly decide that they're a national championship team.
Yeah.
But...
Kind of like Purdue, but...
I just, man, both those teams just getting beat like that. I mean,
yeah,
you can't come back from 48-0.
You literally can't.
Pass off 48-21, but 48-0. You can't even get one in garbage time.
For 0 points as a top 10 team and expect anyone to give you any flack. I mean, if it was unless it's like 10-0 or like 9-0, like a close single digit game, maybe. But they put up damn near
0 as a top 10. You're getting shit on regardless. But
they put up 50. Almost.
I mean, it's already bad to be a top 10 team and lose 48-0. Yeah. It just extra cherry on top. It was Kansas State's backup quarterback.
I think he's better than 9 a.m., honestly.
Yeah. But this is a team that offensively has not been great this season.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Like, their whole offense has been Adrian Martinez, running the ball.
Their best 2 games were hilariously against the Oklahoma teams, are the only games where they put up more than 40 points. And so it's shocking. It's bad.
I warned you about Louisville and Wake Forest, though. I told you that Wake Forest is one of those teams Louisville is one of those teams where they win games and then they lose games. And it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and you got roasted the fuck
Just
out.
like every
no, I wouldn't say that.
So, honestly, for me, the Big 12 is like one of the most interesting conference races right now.
For sure, yeah. There's so many different possibilities there. It's insane.
I mean, if TCU needs to win out, obviously if they keep winning, they're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kansas State is breathing right down their neck, and they are just waiting for them to make a mistake.
I mean, would it really matter because it's the top 2 anyway?
But, I think you get extra money for winning the regular season title, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because I remember last year, I don't know who Baylor played, because I remember they kicked the field goal like near the end of the game. I don't know who they played. It was Oklahoma State or someone, but they kicked it like a field goal when they were up 7 already. And I think Dave Arienda said it was something towards like getting more money if it comes down to point differential.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think in that system, I think they also get a trophy for a regular season title. I could be wrong on that one, but I definitely know that they get more money for winning the regular season title.
Yep.
How
about Deuce Vaughn for Kansas State too? Two
The whole
great games in a row after his freshman year.
I'm not even gonna say one. That whole team they just look so good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's. I mean, it could be partly Oklahoma State's defense is bad, which we already knew. Yeah. But I mean, they had 500 yards of offense.
Yeah, 200-yard receivers.
And so I mean, they played the game of their life.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see if they can carry that over going forward. And the other interesting conference race is the good old Pac-12 with 4 teams with 1 loss or less.
Yep.
Speaking, okay, Big 12, a lot of stuff going on there. How about the Pac-12 though? USC, oh, did you? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was doing something else.
I mean, because Oregon, USC, UCLA, and Utah are 8, 9, 10, and 12 ranked with 1 loss or less.
Oh no, I was talking about USC's like barely beating Arizona. 45-37.
Talk about it being a good race. But yeah, they did barely beat Arizona.
Yeah, that was. Arizona's offense is pretty decent though. They have Jaden Miller is really good, and they have Cowing, who's one of the better receivers in the country.
I mean, they're putting up decent numbers this year.
Yeah,
but
USC's defense has been problematic. They're good at playmaking, but they get burnt a lot. So that's something they need to fix for next year. They need to hit the portal or recruit better or something with Lincoln Riley, because their defense needs a lot of work.
Yeah, well, that's how it was at Oklahoma too.
Well, guys, we need to shout out Bo next. He dropped 6 touchdowns?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Kraigen, man, I'd be worried, man. He's coming to you guys in 13 days or so, like 10 days. He's about to end your guys' Pac-12 chances, I fear.
I'm surprised if he did.
Washington's Pac-12 chances right now are very low.
Yeah.
But
almost no shot with.
I mean, they had
no divisions anymore. So
they first
UCLA and USC are both still 1-loss teams.
I mean, if they lose to Oregon State this week, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, which is a very real possibility. Oregon State is looking very good this year.
You guys are home. At least you got that in your back pocket.
Have what?
You guys play them at home at least.
Yeah, that is good, but they're still a very good team and have, I'd say, at least a 50% chance to win the game.
How about Syracuse dropping the ball big time to Notre Dame like Levi said they would?
Yeah, I called
Notre
it.
Dame went for a while, didn't
they? They had a lot of issues that game. I thought they were going to lose anyways, but then Garrett Schrader got injured. Garrett Williams is now out for the season. And so, I mean, it was already bad, and it got worse that game. And so,
unfortunately, Sean Tucker was not the best running back in that game. Rare occasions, but, as time, he did his thing. What was he? He had 20 for 123 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Look, you can only do so much when your quarterback throws a pick six on the first play.
That's true. That was tough.
I mean, you're playing from behind the entire game at that point.
Yeah, it's 41-24 too. That's wow.
They tied it up. They made it 7-7, I think, on the following drive, and then Notre Dame just ran away after that, though.
But it was like 38-17 at one point. They ran away.
It was.
Yeah. God, imagine if Notre Dame would have just only beaten Marshall and Stanford, they could possibly be a top 10 team right now.
Well, thank God they didn't. How about that?
Yeah, they never win a Stanford game. I don't know what y'all saw in that at all. So.
All right, here we go.
My agenda's still on. I still hate Notre Dame.
I'm sorry. I thought it changed. I didn't know you stopped hating them. I thought you started to become a fan just like you are of Auburn.
I'm not an Auburn fan. Not even close.
But good on Notre Dame, man. They get Clemson next week, so it was good that they won this game.
Yeah, they're almost bowl eligible. They'll get that. They'll win that game to be a bowl eligible, but it won't be next week.
Yeah, I got a fun fact for that Notre Dame Clemson game once we start talking about the games.
All right.
Anyone want to talk about Florida versus Georgia, or do you think the game went exactly how it was supposed to go?
Yeah, I think the game was pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
That quarter was a little weird with Florida putting up 17 points on Georgia.
Yeah. Now there is a game here I want to touch on just real quick that has a big head coaching candidate. That could end up somewhere big. How about Cincinnati and UCF? Huh? That Gus Malzahn guy, I tell you what, he can win a game.
I know. The thing is, Auburn's looking to rebuild. There's a nice little head coach at UCF. He's doing some good stuff. And
he's got ties to Auburn. I think he lived here once.
Yeah, some would say a perfect fit for Auburn.
Yeah. Already knows how to beat the big boys.
Yeah.
How about another consistent UCF coach?
Yeah. Scott Frost.
Let's go. Him to Auburn.
Scott Frost to Auburn. Yeah.
Last one I want to touch on is Spencer Rattler absolutely making sure that South Carolina is at their best.
Yeah.
Single week.
What a guy, huh?
By not doing anything with
literally everybody.
Oh, none of you wanted to talk about NC State and Virginia Tech? Cam calling the points on the spread exactly.
Not exactly. He was a point off.
He was a point off each way. That's right.
Yeah, but still very impressive.
Yeah, he called it 23-20. It was 22-21. I was very pissed off after the first three Virginia Tech drives in the third quarter. They go up 21-3, and then they proceed not to air it out anymore.
Yeah, I knew from that point once they were up 21-3, I just felt like Virginia Tech was choking.
Oh, I did too. They were going high power on offense. They were airing it out, going deep, and then they quit doing that. And I'm like, okay, they lost.
Yeah, they were playing not to lose.
Yeah, basically. They started playing not to lose instead of playing to win. You're right.
So, Levi, you got any celebratory things to say after your team came back from an 18-point deficit?
No.
You don't think MJ Morris looked extremely well?
Oh, no, he did.
Yeah.
That was the only good part of the night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Virginia Tech, so, I'm not, overly excited, but to essentially play a half of football and be 20-29 for 265 yards and 3 touchdowns in your first ever start and coming back from 18 points down, I think he's got a bright future ahead of him, and I'll be interested to see. He got declared the starter for the rest of the year, pretty much. So it'll be interesting to see how he progresses. He's got a huge challenge this week in Wake, which we'll talk about. But yeah, it's just another NC State shit show of a football game.
Yeah.
But a shit show that they won. Like you said, would you rather have 12 bad wins or 10 good wins?
Yeah.
Oh, we are definitely testing that theory because we don't win good at all.
Yeah.
Here's a game that all of 7 people are going to care about, but a hilariously bad game. Miami at Virginia. and 14-12 after 4 overtimes, no touchdowns.
Yeah. 14-12 with a safety. Yeah.
That's how I expected the NC State Virginia Tech game to go, but ended up being Miami and Virginia.
Well, look, luckily for Virginia,
superiority right there. ACC superiority.
Yeah.
Luckily for Virginia, they get to play. The Virginia fans get to see a bunch of touchdowns this week because they got Drake May coming to town, and he's going to throw for them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. North Carolina fucking blitzed Pittsburgh in the second half. Good God, what were they down 10 and they won by 18?
Yeah.
Were they?
I didn't know they were down 10.
I don't think they were down 10.
Yeah, I'm looking at here. Israel scored a 20-yard touchdown. They were down 24 to.
Oh, they were, 15,
yeah. And they just let up on them. 3 passing touchdowns and a 2-yard rushing touchdown by Elijah Green. Drake May once again, masterclass performance. 5 touchdowns, damn near 400 yards. He also rushed for 61 yards.
Yeah, Green and Downs both over 100 yards catching.
Yeah. Here's another one for you. Charlotte fires Will Healy last week, and they go out and beat 4-3 Rice.
Oh my God!
56-23.
Oh my God!
Iowa puts up over 30 points on Northwestern. Their first game of over 30 points this year.
Oh, that's the shocking fact of the game of the week. The fact that
Iowa scores 30. They scored 20 in the first half.
Yeah.
UConn beats Boston College 13-3. There's another one. ACC superiority. Jeff Halfley's still not fired. Nobody knows how.
I now just thought about that. How is that guy not fired?
Probably
lost 13-3 at UConn.
God, it's bad. That is terrible.
Oh, shout out Coastal Carolina. They beat Marshall 24-13 on the road. They are now 7-1 going into a matchup against Appalachian State.
Yeah. Coastal Carolina was an underdog to that Marshall team going into Marshall. And I think it'll be a pretty good game at App State. I hope they beat App State. It's a shame that Robert Morris did not beat App State. They fall to 0-8 on the season. They lost 42-3.
Yeah, real close game there.
Yeah, it was 14-3 at the end of the first quarter. It didn't score again.
Hate to lose that one. That's tough.
So does anyone want to talk about what happened with the Michigan State altercation at the end? Because let's be honest, the game was pretty explanatory.
I've been trying to for a minute, but yeah. I was speaking about games that are horrible wins, but still a win. Michigan over Michigan State.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about horrible wins, but like they did what they were.
That's a horrible win, yeah. Michigan State's awful.
That was... I just have to say...
29 points. Blake Corum's the only highlight in that game.
What happened after that game was possibly the most disgusting thing I think I've ever seen in college football. And what makes it worse is that Michigan State originally tried to lie about what happened, and then
the video came out.
They didn't realize that there's videos all through that fucking tunnel of what happened, and
they were beating him with they were punching him, kicking him, and with their helmets. And I think there was another video.
There's two. So they did twice. So the first player, they separated the teams. So the Michigan State went in first.
Yeah.
So the first player went in, and he went to he was high-fiving his family because he saw them. So he just kept walking, and they just started beating. They started punching him.
Yeah.
And then it happened again. They jumped 2 different players.
Yeah.
And the second one was, and this is, if this doesn't sum up where this program should be in 5 years, I don't know what is. The second video is filmed of them attacking this Michigan player, and it's filmed by the mother of a recruit, and all of the recruits that were there were in that tunnel as it happened.
Wow.
Yeah. If you didn't already, I mean, I know it's at Michigan, and the recruits are there from Michigan, but all of those players are going to go back to their team, and they're going to say, they're not even going to think about Michigan State anymore, because who wants to be a part of some shit like that?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So was that video the perspective of from behind the players that were punching?
So the second one, so like the tunnel is like split in two ways. So the locker rooms, it's kind of like a T.
Yeah.
And so like but the hallway keeps going, and so that's where the recruits were. Yeah. And so the recruit's mother was back there, kind of like facing the T of where the locker rooms are. And so the players that were not fighting were walking towards them, but the ones that were like there. So like you're in the tunnel facing them. So you're not behind them, I guess. It's hard to explain. But either way, that was just, and then though, I don't know if y'all saw it today, they showed another video that ABC put a camera in there, and it shows the entire thing of like from start to finish of what happens.
Yeah, it was like a video. I think I think it was like a Michigan defensive back. Like he was walking like into like the Michigan players, but I think they said he was injured, so he wanted to go get like some help or something.
I know the reason that one of them was already ahead of, because they had Michigan going last because they're the home team. They will let the visitors go in first for every game that they play at that stadium. Is what came out, and he was in there because he was injured, so he went in early. And then Michigan State got there, and that all happened.
Yep,
that's insane.
All this kind of progression after losing, and then you just beat up. Like, what do you gain out of it? It's like not like it just wasn't necessary. It's reprehensible.
You had plenty of time to be a man on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, you leave it on the field.
Yeah, I saw a tweet where someone said you had 60 minutes to be man and being hard, and you chose not to. So and then you do that.
Yeah, like if you had, and like as a neutral, like I mean, I didn't have any respect for Michigan State anyways, but even if
Tucker's a bitch, but
it was gone after that. I mean, they suspended him, which I mean, you had no choice.
Yeah.
But
they said the law is under this now. Like Michigan said, they're trying to put as much like with the law. It's under their hands now with that.
Yeah, there's charges being pressed 100%. That's what Harbaugh was talking about, and some other Michigan person. I don't know who he is, but like an AD.
I mean,
the AD.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. I mean, you walk into a locker room and people are just starting jumping you. Like, what do you expect? And then the guy that's swinging his helmet at the other guy, like, Jesus.
Oh yeah, that's
the helmet. That thing was like that was when it's officially like you just like it's lawless activity. You just can't be throwing like a helmet can like do significant damage. Like the Myles Garrett incident.
Yeah, Myles Garrett 2.0.
When Aaron Donald did it in the practice against the Bengals, he had two helmets. Like a helmet can do so much damage to someone.
Yeah, difference though with Donald though is the guy that had a helmet on.
Aaron Donald was dual wielding helmets like it was Red Dead Redemption.
If you see Aaron Donald dual wielding helmets going towards you, you should just like convince yourself you're going to the hospital because you can't get away from that. You're gonna wake up. Simple as that.
That was even
Donald coming out you without the helmets.
That was the most disgusting thing of the week, and
by far.
I didn't think that college football could get worse after watching a 4 overtime game with no touchdowns, and then Michigan State.
Yeah.
So
I cannot imagine what's gonna happen next year if they play. Well, I mean not if, like when they play. It might get ugly. It might get
and
ugly.
It's gonna be Michigan State, like
I'm expecting quite a few targeting calls in that game.
I'm expecting a death.
All right.
Someone should pay for their life.
Can we talk about tell your kids about 7-1 Illinois, top of the Big 12. Why do I keep switching up Big 12 and Big 10? Big 10 West. And lucky for us, they get to play Michigan State next week. So maybe Illinois can exact some revenge on behalf of Michigan next week and beat up on Michigan State. I think the whole world will be rooting for them in that case.
Yeah, real impressive win, 26-9 over the Netflix logo.
Yeah, I thought Nebraska was going to keep it a little closer.
Would you rather have 12 ugly wins?
Well, right now the max they can get is 11, but yeah.
All right. Any other games from
12.
what?
They can get 12.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, they get to the Big Ten championship, they're easily beating Ohio State.
That's facts.
Yeah.
They
Easily.
can play Michigan again.
Yeah.
Any other games from this past weekend you guys want to talk about?
So what does this do to the Big Ten West race, Levi?
Pretty much nothing at this point. They can't 7-way tie Illinois. Pretty much. They don't have it in the bag, but
Yeah. Too bad.
the 7-way tie scenario of a 4-18 winning that dream is dead.
Yeah. Rip.
Dead.
Illinois is one game though in the standings with 4 games left, and they do play Purdue, who's right behind them in the standings in 2 weeks.
Which, well, I guess we'll talk about that when it happens. But yeah. All right. Package.
We're going to picks for this week.
Picks and reviews of the games.
Yep.
Week 10 picks. Levi's up.
There's football.
Once again.
The football.
So we're gonna start. We got some Friday night action. Also, before we go anywhere, we've got twas the night before Maction because we've got Mac football tomorrow.
We do. Tuesday night football. Yep.
Twas the night before Maction.
That's ugly.
That's the best part, honestly.
So first game Friday night, 10:30 p.m. ESPN2. Damn it. Number 24 Oregon State travels to Washington. Washington is favored by 4.5 points.
Yep.
They believe it's going to be a cold, rainy game because it is Seattle. Because why not?
Yeah.
Oregon State won the last meeting, but Washington has won the last 9 of 10.
Yeah.
Kraigen, you want to take it away with your analysis as an unbiased Washington fan?
For sure, yeah. I did mention, to be fair, that Oregon State probably has about a 50% chance more to win the game. I really like the work they're doing this year. So there's that to start with, but to touch on what Levi just said as well about the 9-1 with them winning last year. That was also they won in the worst season in Washington program history. So that's great for them, I guess. But we'll see how they do now with a better team. Granted, they are better as well, but Jimmy Smith has done really well with them. Or Jonathan Smith, rather. I'm going Washington. I feel like Oregon State will probably win, but I'm taking the homer pick and going Washington.
All right, thank you, unbiased Washington fan Kraigen, for that pick. Now, let's go to the ACC guys, Joey and Levi. What is your analysis, and who you guys think are going to win this game?
I'm going to take Washington just because, I like Oregon State. I do. I just think Washington is a better team here, despite losing to Arizona.
I don't think Oregon State is a very good away team. Their away wins are a 3-point win against Fresno, a 28-point loss to Utah, and a 1-point win to Stanford.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I'm picking Washington. I think whenever they've played a good quarterback, they lose. Not necessarily they play bad, but they lose, and so they're going to be playing another good quarterback and Michael Penix Jr. And so I think that they'll lose. And sometimes This is something I learned during NC State's, tomfoolery. Sometimes these teams get ranked for, like, they get 24, like 23. They get all happy, and then they just let it slip the next game. And so I think that could be something that happens here.
Yeah. This is also the first time they've been ranked since, like, 2013. I think their Twitter account tweeted.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams this year that's becoming ranked for the first time in, like, 8 to 10 years, like Kansas, Illinois, now Oregon State.
Liberty's ranked.
Yeah.
I'm still going to pick Washington. I feel like Michael Penix will have another stellar performance in what is his rejuvenation after leaving Indiana with injury-prone time there. He had his moments, but I feel like he'll do probably air it out, have 3 or 4 touchdowns. Nice little midweek Pac-12 win before they go play Oregon next week.
Oh my God. All right. So next on the cards, we have a noon ABC game between number 2 Ohio State and Northwestern. Ohio State is only favored by 38 points.
Yeah, this is practically Ohio State versus bye week.
I wasn't done.
Yeah.
Ohio State has won the last 9 games, and Ohio State has won the last 33 of 34 games.
I wonder when that one lost.
I'm going to guess it was like 2011.
No. Oh.
No.
Yeah, 9. Yeah, you might be right, actually.
That one bad year Ohio State had in the 2010s.
It was 2011. Lost every, like, close game possible.
2004.
Nah.
They lost
I don't think
to Illinois.
I don't think we played Northwestern that year. I know we lost to Michigan, Miami, Nebraska, Wisconsin. I think we lost to Purdue that year as well.
Gosh.
Florida in the bowl we faced Urban Meyer, but we didn't play Northwestern. But anyways, I think we all know what's going to happen here. If Iowa put up 33, oh my God. Iowa put up damn near 400 yards of offense and 33 points in Northwestern. I don't even want to know what Ohio State's going to do. They might just want to run the ball to prove a point that they're not weak. So I don't know if they're going to score like 60, but it's going to get like mid-50s. Like, it's going to be bad. I think Ohio State's going to roll like 55 to like 10. Easily cover.
Yeah, this is Ohio State versus bye week. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the backup started coming in the second quarter. And then third string, if you have fourth string, and then in the third and fourth quarter. Just play starters in the first, second string in the second, third string in the third, and then bottom of the barrel in the fourth. And Northwestern still won't score. Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State.
Yeah. I think this will be Pat Fitzgerald's career-saving game. He's only going to lose 55 to 6. He's only going to lose 55 to 6. Ohio State.
Okay. Noon on Fox. Texas Tech travels to number 7 TCU. TCU's won the last 4 of 5 meetings between these two. TCU's favored by 9.5.
You already know where I stand. Give me the Max Duggan and the Quentin Johnson dynamic duo. Might be the third best dynamic duo in the nation so far. I'm going to give them the points. They're going to win by at least 15 as they go to 9-0 before they get to play Texas on the road.
5-3 Texas at that too.
Yeah, I'll take TCU.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, Red Raiders. It's TCU by a lot.
I don't know if it'll be by a lot, but
I mean, it will be. But
I know the spread's
they
9.5.
already
But
by 9.5.
TCU just beat West Virginia by 10. But Texas Tech absolutely beat the snot out of West Virginia.
Yeah.
Then
We're
again,
gonna
it
compare those
was
games to each other.
in Morgantown, and I think that made a big difference on the TCU West Virginia game. So you're right; it might be TCU by like 25.
I think that's still a lot.
Yeah. It would be.
Noon on the ACC network.
What
Number
are you
7.
picking, Levi?
Huh?
What are you picking?
Oh, TCU. I just write it down. I just forget to say it because I feel like I already said it.
Gotcha.
I also picked Ohio State if I didn't say that. But noon on the ACC network. Number 17 UNC travels to Virginia. UNC won the last meeting, but Virginia's won the last 4 of 5 between them.
Oh yeah.
And UNC is favored by 7.5.
Only 7.5 after that game last week. Interesting.
Yeah, 7.5. Okay, North Carolina, the points and the over.
Yeah. I agree with Joey on that. You mean North Carolina?
Say what you want about Virginia's defense holding Miami to no touchdowns, but Miami played 2 different quarterbacks who weren't named Tyler Van Dyke. And Miami's offense was just bad. That's not even good Virginia defense. That's just a bad Miami offense.
Yeah.
I pick he who shall not be named.
But it's not Virginia.
It is not Virginia.
Yeah. The same pick last week.
Cameron.
Yeah, my prediction for this game.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? Drake May's gonna torch another team as usual. Give me North Carolina and the points. Is that what you wanted from me? You wanted my prediction? I gave you one. Or can we move on to Tulane?
He's got to write down your picks.
A different game just to not do Tulane.
I said North Carolina.
Noon on ESPNU. Number 19 Tulane travels to Tulsa. Tulsa has won the last 2 games between them. Tulane has won the last 3 of 5. And Tulane is favored 7.5.
Nice, yeah. Give me Tulsa.
Oh.
What? I don't really blame you for that pick because I was thinking about taking Tulsa, but I think I'm going to ride the hot green wave and go with Tulane.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Tulane. I think they're on a collision course with Cincinnati for the ACC. Not ACC, AAC. I've been messing up conferences names all episode. But I think they're on a collision course with Cincinnati at the end of the season. I'll pick Tulane to win.
All right, Levi. Levi.
I don't know. I really, I'm thinking. Shut up. I really wanted to pick Tulsa to be different, but then Kraigen did it, so now I'm gonna pick Tulane.
All right. 3 of you will be wrong. That's fine.
I also can see Tulsa winning, but I also cannot afford to drop a game to Joey, so I'm going Tulane.
Yeah, you got to pick.
Oh, you'll pick that game back up somewhere. I'm sure you will.
I know, but it's not gonna be there, I don't think. So,
I see cowards.
I'm gonna do this game last.
Okay, yeah.
Next,
Yeah, for sure. Do that last.
3:30 p.m. ESPN. I think maybe game of the week here, guys. Number 8 Oregon travels to the on fire Colorado Buffaloes. Oregon has only won the last 8 of 9 games between these two, and they're only favored by 31.5.
Yeah, it's a close one.
Once again, Bo Nix is gonna drag his nuts all over the Pac-12. Big.
I think Bo Nix has a big down game here. I think he only throws for 4 touchdowns. Colorado, pretty hot lately. Only lost by 10 to Arizona State last week. Lost 42-9 the game before that. I got to take Oregon. It's a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah, pretty big risk there, but.
All right, Kraigen, Colorado.
I'm taking. Unfortunately, no. I'm taking Oregon to put up another Eastern Washington type performance where they beat Eastern Washington 70-14. Their offense is on a roll.
I'm taking Oregon. So we are in agreement.
Yep. That's good.
Only one game so far has had a different pick, and that's the Tulsa. So we'll see how that goes. 3:30 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Michigan State travels to number 14 Illinois. Illinois won the last 2 games between them. Michigan State's won the last 3 of 5. And Illinois is, surprisingly to me, favored 16.5.
That's crazy. Michigan State only got 3 players suspended. It's not like their whole team's gone. Come on now.
I still think if I were to bet on if they're going to cover or not, I would pick Michigan State. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I'm going to take Illinois for obvious reasons. On fire.
Yeah, I'm going to take Illinois as well, preying on Michigan State's downfall after last week and lose out in the next 4 games.
I mean, I think it's in agreement here that Illinois is probably going to win this game. It's just if they're going to cover or not, and they're at home. You get to see spectacular Chase Brown. Actually, I have a question for you guys. Can you rank these 4 running backs?
Big Ten running backs, not named Auburn Ibrahim, no.
Well, anyways, I have Chase Brown from Illinois, Blake Corum from Michigan, Deuce Vaughn from Kansas State, and Sean Tucker from Syracuse.
I don't think we've seen enough of Deuce Vaughn to really rank Deuce Vaughn right now.
I mean, just based off the freshman year alone, he's at least second.
Yeah, he's up there for sure.
Corum, Deuce Vaughn, nobody else matters.
I would put Corum at 3 or 4, and I put Tucker in the other spot.
Putting Corum that low? Wow.
I would have gone Corum, Vaughn, Brown, Tucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
That'd be my list too, Big Ten bias aside.
My bias would mean that I would have Sean Tucker at number 1, but unfortunately I kind of agree with Levi saying that he's 4th.
Yeah. Just not anything against him, just the names on that list too. So.
Is if he's pleased or not, that's where he goes. He was not pleased, so he's 4th.
Yeah.
You guys see Brandon Joseph's post after the game? After it was a picture of him tackling Sean Tucker. He was like basically saying we are not pleased with Syracuse's performance or something like that.
I didn't see that.
No, that's not cool though. Sean Tucker didn't do anything.
That's kind of the point. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything to piss off Notre Dame. It's not like you don't have to go after the dude who's just
I mean, that
trying to.
Please every weekend
look,
is
I'm
kinda
sorry.
like Russell Wilson Unlimited, so it gets pretty corny.
A good meme is a good meme. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, basically, when you're like Sean Tucker, you're like you have someone who has like a catchphrase. Like if you have a bad game, you should expect people to use it against you. So I mean, I'm not surprised. It's just the first time that someone's
Broncos
used it.
country, let's ride.
Okay, the difference between that is Russell Wilson has been bad this year and has been an arrogant asshole. Sean Tucker is not.
I'm convinced that Sean Tucker actually, like, he has a little cousin that tweets out for him. Like, type exactly what I say.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Did you see this on Twitter?" He goes, "I don't use the tweeter."
It's weird.
He just seems like such an old dude. Like, do you see his photo? He just looks like a dude that argues about Michael Jordan and Biggie and Tupac for like hours on.
Yeah, he just hands his little 4-year-old cousin his phone. And
He's only a sophomore too. He's only a sophomore.
He just looks so old.
He's a redshirt sophomore.
He's seen some shit.
he's been to war.
All right, so anyway, let's go back to the Big Ten game that is up next, Penn State versus Indiana. Levi.
You stole my mojo.
I didn't steal the fun facts.
Was this the one that you had for fun fact?
No, it's it's coming up later.
Oh, okay. Number 16, Penn State versus Indiana. How this game made it to ABC, I don't know.
It's beyond, it's beyond us.
Somebody's doing some suspicious stuff over in Happy Valley.
Penn State, they won 23 of the 25 meetings between these two schools.
Yeah.
What? Every time you hear an Indiana versus Big Ten team stat, it's like, oh, Michigan's won like the past 24 out of 25. Ohio State's won the past 26 games. Penn State's won 22 out of 23. Like, my God. I know Indiana's bad historically, but it's just depressing to hear these stats, man.
Yeah.
When did Indiana win that game? Because they started off hot a few years ago. They started like 5-0 or something like that.
The COVID year.
Yeah.
Was it 2020? Yeah. Was it?
I think they beat Michigan that year.
Yeah, with Michael Penix Jr. to GOAT.
Oh, yeah, they had Penix. That's right. Now they have, what's his name? Basilak? Sounds like Battle Axe.
I'm surprised no one said the ball sack thing.
That's good. They went from penis to ball sack. Nice. I'm not picking on this game first. One of you two can pick first.
Okay, Penn State, so we can get it over with and move on to a better game.
Penn State. I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah, for sure.
See, that's my problem, is it seems like when a team loses, they proceed to lose the next game for the most part. No, it's not in every case, but for the most part. I am going to take Penn State. I am not confident in that pick.
Levi just left after you said that.
He did.
Yeah. I'd be ashamed of that too, Levi.
It happens.
I understand.
Levi,
Levi, who are you taking?
Penn State. Sorry, my internet cut out.
Yeah, good excuse.
No, it did. That's why I left.
All right.
Just good timing then.
Yeah, just good time. Comedic timing is what it was.
Yeah.
Next game. Did everybody pick Penn State, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next game, number 18, Oklahoma State goes to Kansas. Fox Sports 1. Oklahoma State has won the last 12 games and the last 17 of 18, and they are favored by 2.
Wow.
Oklahoma State is.
Yeah.
Despite how bad they lost last week, I'm going Oklahoma State to get a bounce back victory.
See, I think the bounce back would be easier if they were playing at home. I don't think it'll be so easy in Kansas.
Yeah, well, Kansas is at home though, and they're.
Is
I
Kansas?
think I might.
Yeah, I might go Kansas too.
Kansas is at home though, and they're only 2-point underdog though. So
Kansas's only home loss was to TCU.
With Jalen Daniels being out for half the game.
Jalen Daniels is still out.
No, I'm just saying, like, TCU, like, beat them, like, by, 7 points?
Yeah, only by 7. Yeah. Yeah, give me Oklahoma State. No, not Oklahoma State, Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas to barely scrape by Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be the game you guys drop to.
Yeah, good luck with that one. I'm not trusting a team that gave up 52 points to Oklahoma.
What?
Yeah.
I am not trusting a team that gave up 52 points to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And is on a 3-game losing streak. So.
Yeah, but they were all 3. No, I'm sorry. One was close at home when Jalen Daniels got hurt. The other 2 were away games.
And?
Home field makes a difference. We had this argument with Reed before.
It does. They're still going to lose.
Oklahoma State also has to bounce back on the road from losing 48-0.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to beat Kansas at all. Because they're going to be playing is very angry after that.
Yeah,
game.
you don't want to play those pokes when they're angry.
Oh yeah, you don't want to play Syracuse when they're angry either, huh? Yeah, Notre Dame did.
I knew they were going to lose. I called that one.
Yeah, but they just lost. They didn't have a bounce back win.
Teams react differently.
Exactly. So Oklahoma State just lost. They're going to react differently.
I watched that Oklahoma State game, and those look like guys that wanted revenge. They're going to go crazy this week.
Haven't they lost 2 in a row? Didn't they lose to Texas too?
No.
Oh, that's right. They beat Texas. Sorry. They lost to TCU, beat Texas, lost to Kansas State. That's right.
Yeah. Next game, 3:30 on the ACC network. 22 Syracuse travels to Pitt. Pitt has won the last 4 games and the last 8 of 9 games, and Pitt is favored by 3.5.
Yeah, wow. Pitt's actually favored. That's.
It
would be upset that.
Give me Sean Tucker in Syracuse.
Although it has to be said, I have no idea how Syracuse was 6-1 or 6-0 going into both that Clemson and Notre Dame game. They looked awful.
What? They didn't look bad against Clemson.
They did. But,
what do you mean?
Well, they did lose for a while. But, yeah, to lose like
they outplayed Clemson that whole game.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just like Pittsburgh more. I don't trust Syracuse's defense.
In that game, though, it's.
Give me Pittsburgh.
Interesting. Just because of their history or why?
Yeah, I like Pitt's defense better. I like Pitt's offense better. Syracuse went 6-0 because they played 5 really bad teams and then caught NC State when Devin Leary was out.
It's fair, Ian.
I am, from what I've heard, pretty sure Garrett Schrader's out. And their backup looked less than good. And their best player, in my opinion, Garrett Wilson, their cornerback, is also out.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that's going to win.
Yeah. Abanikanda is just a really good running back, too. I only said that because I wanted to say Abanikanda.
Abanikanda, honestly, in my opinion, is the best running back in the ACC.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he is tearing up. I mean, he has 16 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, and he's over 1,000 yards.
Averaging 6 yards a carry.
Yeah. He's insane right now.
I think Pitt's better.
Yeah.
And they're gonna.
That's fair, yeah.
Especially being a home game.
Yeah.
Not
like a doesn't win, I'm definitely not picking him again. So.
Next 3:30 ESPN 2. I left it behind. Number 25 UCF coming off their biggest win of the year. Travels to Memphis. UCF has won the last 14 of 16 games, and they are favored by 3.5.
This game historically is really close. Even when Frost was there in Memphis, always gave him a run. However, UCF always pulled it off, and I think UCF pulls it off again. Give me Auburn's next head coach, Gus Malzahn, to beat Memphis.
Yeah, give me UCF after they came back and drove down the field to have a game-winning drive to ruin my pick.
You love to see it. I'll take UCF as well to pick up their 4th loss in a row.
I mean, when?
To UCF to give Memphis their 4th loss in a row, sorry.
I am stuck on this game because I'm pretty sure John Reese Plumlee's out. But I guess I'm going to go with UCF anyways.
Missing the Ole Miss tight end is going to be tough for them.
Gotta love a good tight end.
Yeah.
Next, 4 p.m. on the SEC network. Number 23, Liberty, travels to Arkansas. This is the first time that these teams are ever meeting, and Arkansas is favored by 13.5.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about Liberty's situation at all. I think they have the better coach by far. I'm just not sold on their offense. I mean, they beat an FCS team by 21-20, and then go out and they beat BYU 41-14. So I don't know if that was like a trap game for them or what. You know what? I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to take Liberty to beat Arkansas.
Yep, I knew it. And I'm going to go the exact opposite. I'm picking Arkansas. Give me KJ. They're at home. They should be able to win this game. Maybe not cover, but they should win.
I don't think they'll cover, but they might win.
Levi?
Yeah, I'm picking Arkansas. I'm not sure. I mean, Arkansas is not really the best team, but I think it's going to be tough for Liberty to go to Arkansas and win.
Yeah.
If App State can walk into College Station and take down Texas A&M and then turn around and lose to Marshall or whatever, I got faith in this Liberty team.
App State?
Yeah.
They beat Troy the next week. It was on game day.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember who they lost to after that, though.
A lot of teams, but
they lost like 3 teams, I think.
But yeah. One of the big games of the week, the top 15 matchup. Number 6, Alabama travels to number 15, LSU on ESPN, 7 o'clock p.m. Alabama's won the last 2, and they've won the last 10 out of 11. And Alabama's favored by 13.
Now, head coaching-wise, this is a rematch of 2 national championships? Or just 1? Yeah, just 1 national championship game. 2012, I believe, Alabama versus Notre Dame. Because I don't believe Notre Dame made it to the national championship in the playoff era.
No, but we did play them a couple times in the semifinals.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You played them in the semifinals, but not in the championship game. Yeah, and Alabama has absolutely embarrassed Brian Kelly before, and they'll do it again. I see no change between him at all. Alabama by 40.
I don't know about 40. I don't know if you've seen our defense and our offense play this year. I don't know if you've heard of our
Well, your
coaches.
offense still put up 49 on Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know if you've heard of our coaches.
Bill O'Brien. No, I think Brian Kelly is just bad enough to get blown out by Alabama.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just don't think it'll be by 40. I'm taking Bama on the points as well.
Yeah.
No bias at all in that.
I think if Tennessee beats LSU 40-13 in Baton Rouge, and Alabama should be doing something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give me
best points allowed.
Give me. I don't know. Do I go with Jaden Daniels and pick the upset? I don't know. I mean, how convenient would it be for Brian Kelly to beat Alabama? It would be pretty funny, actually. Pretty hilarious.
Dude, that'd be hilarious. And then
it would be because it'd be a fantasy novel that you're reading.
Oh man, I had the joke. Fuck you.
Go ahead and follow that up, Levi. What do you got?
I'm picking LSU now. I hope you get fucked.
Hey, fine by me. Another loss that'll put you behind Joey. So.
It'll still be ahead of you. He'll still be ahead of you.
It's not an accomplishment.
I think I'm just gonna take Alabama. It's the safe pick, but I mean, I would not be surprised if LSU squeaks out a win.
It's what you do.
No one would be surprised if LSU won this game. Let's be honest.
That's a complete lie.
I would be very surprised if LSU won.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised.
Brian Kelly. You don't see.
Wait, maybe Brian Kelly's going to grind on his players again to create some magic.
College football should be played.
Get their testosterone going, you know?
That's one way to do that, I guess.
What's next? What is next is Fox Sports 1.
Football, baby.
7 p.m. Texas travels to number 13, Kansas State. Texas has won the last 5 games between these two.
This year's different. Kansas State's taking it.
Oh, Texas is favored, by the way, by 2.5.
Yeah, I still think Kansas State takes it.
Yeah, give me Deuce Vaughn and Kansas State.
Who you got, Levi?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit too, but I think I'm going to take Texas in this one.
Okay, then I'm picking Kansas State. That's all I need.
That's all I need. It became personal. Levi is just going against KME now with these picks, man. He's just going against them.
Fine by me.
7:30 Big Ten Network. Number 4 Michigan travels to Rutgers. Michigan has won the last 7 games they've only played 8 times, and Michigan's won the last 7. And Michigan's favored 26.5 okay, hold on. They're favored 26.5 on a 45 over under. So I think Rutgers is going to score 3 points, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, never bet on Rutgers, ever. Unless it's the COVID season and they're playing Penn State. I'm taking Michigan, and they win by 27.
Yeah, I think Michigan wins pretty easily. Blake Corum's going to get 35 touches again.
Yeah, it'll be another win for Blake Corum's hopeful Heisman push that they'll be going for.
7:30 on NBC. Number 5, Clemson travels to Notre Dame. Clemson is up 4-2 all time on Notre Dame, and they are favored by 4.5.
Oh, and this is where I have the fun fact. Did you guys know, the ACC fans out here, that Notre Dame has won the last 25 games against ACC teams in the regular season?
No.
Actually,
Well,
didn't it?
And that's the fun fact. That still does not change.
Let's rip
I
that
have no
streak.
idea.
Clemson
I have no
by a
idea.
lot.
Yeah, just give me Clemson by like a field goal, though. I feel like it'll still be a close game, but this time Clemson gets the dub. Nice little ACC championship.
150-yard game.
Is Uyunglele still going to be quarterback?
Probably, yeah. Even though it's the wrong decision.
Because he got taken out in the Syracuse game.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll be starting.
Yeah. That's.
You
Dabo
know,
said too that he's their quarterback. That's not going to change.
I
Just
hate
made
this
him
pick.
the starter again.
I hate this game. I think Clemson's going to win, but I'm going to take Notre Dame.
Why is that?
Interesting decision there.
That's a bold strategy right there.
Yeah, I know. I just think the way Syracuse played Clemson, I think Clemson just has some flaws that Syracuse kind of pointed out. Notre Dame's going to take advantage of it.
I mean, they took care of it by benching DJ. He was the problem. So that's why they won. They benched him.
Yeah, but if he starts in this game, if they get down, they throw a pick six, frame one, like Syracuse did, it's going to be a struggle from the start. And Clemson doesn't really have any notable wins on here either. I mean, Wake Forest and NC State, I guess. But they only beat Wake by 6 in a 51-45 shootout.
Win to win. How many times you guys say it today? 12 ugly wins.
Or 10. I think Clemson's going to have 11 ugly wins and 1 loss to Notre Dame.
Interesting. Levi, you want to give a smarter opinion there?
No, I would not. I will just say that I think Clemson will win, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, there's Levi's take on it. Thanks for the extensive explanation.
Good take.
For your
Good take. Good take.
All right, let's move on to the next game.
You got to write the picks down. Oh.
7:30. Oh no, I already wrote your stupid pick down. 7:30. Pac-12. Arizona travels to number 12 Utah. Utah has won the last 5, and Utah's favored by 17.5.
Utah. I don't know if they cover because Arizona's been playing well apparently, but give me Utah.
Yeah, also give me Utah, and I think they'll cover.
Utah winning a blowout in this one. Cam Rising is hurt, but their backup did play well last week.
Oh, what did we say last week?
He's the way better team.
Daniels got hurt at Kansas. His backup came in and looked good, and we all fell for it the next week. And they got blown out. But then what did we say last week when I said that the backup at Kansas State looks better than 9 a.m.? And you guys told me that we all fell for Kansas and Jalen Daniels. And then he balled out.
Anyways. I really don't want to do this game. 8 o'clock, ACC Network. Number 20, Wake Forest travels to number 21, NC State. Wake Forest has won the last 4 or 5, and Wake is favored by 5.
Well, if Wake plays exactly like they did last week, it won't be close. Unfortunately, I think they're gonna fix their issues and work on that, and I think Wake is gonna win this game. Cam?
Man, after what happened last week with Wake Forest, oh my God, 8 turnovers. But I will still trust them to dust NC State. So give me Wake Forest.
Look, I like MJ Morris at NC State, and I think he can do a lot. I think he can keep up with the Wake Forest offense, but NC State's offensive coordinator won't. Kraigen?
Yeah, I'm going to take Wake as well in a pretty close game.
And it takes us to Levi.
So, I mean, you already know who I'm going to pick.
It's Wake Forest because is it?
No, he picks NC State every week he can. He already said he would take NC State every week left if they're ranked.
You can always go back.
I really struggle with this. Like, this is... So, for those of you who don't know, NC State is currently on a 16-game home winning streak.
Yeah. You're right.
16-game home winning streak. And if we win versus Wake, it'll set the program history mark for most wins or most consecutive home wins in the season. Which would also mean that we're going to carry into the next season because our only remaining home game left is Boston College. And I mean, as bad as we have been,
you're not losing to UConn 13-3.
We beat UConn 41-10. So
yeah, some serious problems if you're losing to Boston College. So.
Yeah, so I mean, recently Wake Forest has really had our number, but I can't think of many football reasons why we would win this game. But I'm going NC State because NC State.
Yeah,
hey, Levi, are you writing? How are you doing the picks? Are you doing a pen or pencil or on the computer?
What are you doing? Excel?
Because I'm going to change my pick to NC State.
Oh my God! Levi once again convinces Joey. My God.
I'm actually doing these picks by typewriter.
Okay, all right. Well, if you could just.
You could just start over, so Joey.
If you could just slide another piece of paper in there.
Why are you switching NC State? I was happy the way it was.
I'm switching because you made the point about the home winning streak, and I do have trust in MJ Morris and NC State's defense. Despite getting burned by Grant Wells on 3 plays.
Oh, look, that was not the defense. That was one single player.
Yeah.
One player gets all of those plays, by the way. So.
Well, same thing happened to us, too. He picked on the freshman corner, and he gave up 2 long balls.
But again, it's going to matter on how our offensive coordinator decides we're going to play. If we do the stupid first half screen shit fuck, balls fuck, we're screwed. But if we play like we do where we actually throw the ball downfield, then we'll be fine. So depends on what Tim Beck's cooking up in that booth.
What was he cooking?
Meth.
Something ass. Let's be honest.
You ever had Cheerios with diarrhea instead of milk? That's pretty much what Tim Beck's cooking.
Yeah, pretty good comparison.
9:30 FS1, number 10 UCLA travels to Arizona State. UCLA has won the last 3 of 5, and they're favored by 10.5.
UCLA and covers the spread. I'm surprised it's only 10.5. Honestly.
We're all going UCLA, right?
Yeah.
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 Not much. Yeah, these next two games, I'm taking USC just for the next game as well. Let's just take the Cal teams and get out of here. Well, not
Yeah.
Cal teams, just USC and UCLA.
You heard it here. Cameron is taking Cal over USC.
I had to change up because I realized they were playing California. I was like, wait.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised in an Arizona State upset, but
Oh
UCLA
my!
should get it done.
Kraigen once again with another Pac-12 upset prediction.
All
He
right.
thinks it could happen. He's not picking it, but he thinks it could happen.
So, game of the century, part 3. Number 2, Tennessee travels to number 1, Georgia. Georgia's won the last 5 meetings, and Georgia's favored by 8.5.
All right.
I'm going to take Tennessee in this one. I don't know that Georgia will be able to keep up with their offense, even though their defense is still pretty good. I don't know that they'll be able to overcome all those losses.
See, yeah, the thing is, Tennessee has a really good job scheming against defenses and finding ways to mismatch receivers with defenders, like picking on Alabama safety with Hyatt. And then of course Tennessee versus Kentucky, the first pass of the game was a bomb to Hyatt, and there was nobody around him.
Yeah.
Georgia's offense very stale. I saw people commenting how Stetson Bennett, was a backup quarterback, and he looked exactly like it last week, a backup quarterback. They stall out sometimes. They just don't get moving down the field. Their only real weapon on offense is that big tight end whose name escapes me at the moment.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah, Bowers.
Brock Bowers and Connor Washington both, but
Yeah. So I like Tennessee. I'm surprised Georgia is an 8-point favorite because their offense is just that bad. I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee won by multiple scores, but it's game day, so I think it's going to be closer. It'll probably be a 3-point win for Tennessee.
You know what? I feel like there is a lot of hype on Tennessee right now, and I feel like we're forgetting about how good Georgia is. So I feel like Georgia's gonna. There's a statement for them. I feel like they're gonna win by 10 points. I mean, I don't know if winning by 10 points is gonna be a statement since they were expected to win by 10, but 8. But I feel like they're gonna have a statement. They're gonna limit that high-powered offense and pull out a win at home and give themselves the inside track on going to the SEC championship game.
So the most they've given up at home this far in the season is 22 to Kent State.
From the MAC, power from action, represent.
Yeah, that was a close game for the first half though, and then Kent State just didn't show up in the second half. But Tennessee is a 4-quarter team. And Georgia's offense, the most they've scored 49, the most against Oregon at home. Of course, that was week 1. And then Bo Nix said that if Oregon played Georgia this week, it would be a different story.
you're wrong there. It's 55 against Vanderbilt. They won 55.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 55-0. Yeah, I'm sorry. They scored 55 on bye week.
That was the second highest, though.
Yeah, it was the second highest. But I don't think they've faced a team that had a really even decent defense. I guess the closest you're looking at is Auburn or Florida, one of those two. So I don't know. It'll be a very interesting game. If it's high scoring, I probably won't be surprised. But I think Tennessee just has a better offense, a slightly worse defense. but your defense doesn't have to be that good when you face an offense that also is not that good.
I don't think Tennessee's defense is slightly worse. They're definitely worse.
Oh yeah, they're significantly worse. It's not slightly. It's not like they're close, but
Yeah.
Georgia's offense is also significantly worse than Tennessee's offense.
Yeah. Should be a fun game.
I don't think Georgia will have success running the ball. I think they'll be stuck to in the air most of the game because Tennessee has the last I saw before the Alabama game, they had a top 10 run defense. And of course, the Kentucky game only helps support that statement because they didn't give up much to Kentucky either.
Yeah, and Chris Rodriguez is a pretty good back too. He should be in the NFL. So.
We'll see. It'll be interesting for sure. Levi?
Who did y'all pick?
I took Tennessee.
I picked Georgia.
Kraigen?
I picked Tennessee as well.
Okay.
That's great. I hope all of you have fun with those picks.
Levi's like, I'm not picking.
Nice.
Levi's taking a tie.
Yeah.
A tie would be amazing.
10 overtimes, they just call it.
I think
Can't happen.
give me Georgia.
For what reason?
Yeah.
On some sort of level, I have to respect the commitment to get down on all four legs and bark at other human beings.
Oh, jeez. That's fair.
I won't be surprised either way. I'm so excited that I'm going to be able to watch that at the tailgate Saturday. I'd be able to watch the whole thing, too. I don't have to stop watching it halfway through because that game should end about an hour before ours starts. So,
nice. That'll be good.
I'll be excited for that. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be super close. But, Georgia's won, I think, the last, 26 home games or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
I guess if there's a game, it's this one, but to me, it doesn't have the same. When Alabama and Tennessee played, I had a feeling that Tennessee was going to win. I don't know, something just gave me a feeling that they were going to do it. I don't have that same feeling. I think Georgia is going to outplay them in terms of being able to get the stops on defense when they need to, and so that's the thing I get. Take Georgia. But I won't be surprised either way. I think either team obviously can win. They're the number one and two teams in the country for a reason.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. One team's going to win, one team's going to lose. You just don't know which one it's going to be.
Wow. That's so
Wild words from Joey.
I'm really glad you inputted that.
Same guy that said last week, by the way, that you win games and lose games.
Yeah, some teams just win some games. Some teams, same teams lose some games, What other interesting games do we have this weekend? We got Oklahoma and Baylor. That's an unranked game.
Yeah, Baylor should win that.
They're underdogs. Oklahoma's a 3.5-point favorite.
That's okay. Whoever did that is wrong. Probably Vegas.
Yeah. Here's a good one: Washington State and Stanford.
I already know who Kraigen would pick for that game if it was a ranked game.
Even though it isn't ranked, it's still Stanford's winning that. So
Washington State's a 5.5 or a 5-point favorite.
yeah, which is also wrong. But
Let's see who else.
I also want to throw out there that most likely after this week, Duke is going to be bowl eligible in Mike Elko's first season.
oh yeah, nice.
They just have to beat Boston College, which does not seem that hard at this point.
Yeah, that's not a tall task. Unless you're Louisville. Louisville lost to Boston College.
Louisville just does a bunch of stuff. Who knows that team?
Yeah.
Yeah. Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. That's the battle of Brent. Brent Key versus Brent Pry. That's Brent 3-letter last name versus Brent 3-letter last name.
And Tex
Yeah, and Tex.
with states that end in G or IA,
That's true. That's true.
and both that have dog killers on their team or have had dog killers on their team. Anything else?
Joey's favorite team, Auburn. 14 paint.
Not even. Not even.
Yeah. On a serious note, though, hopefully, what's his face? Spencer Rattler drops the game to Vanderbilt. That'd be hilarious. Hope that happens. They're only a 7-point favorite versus Vanderbilt. So.
I don't know. South Carolina Vanderbilt might be a good game. Spencer Rattler sucks.
Oh God, don't.
Let's see. Florida, Texas A&M, Minnesota, and Nebraska. It won't be that good. Iowa and Purdue. Iowa just has to. I don't know. Put up 30 again, I guess.
Yeah, Iowa just has to find a way to not make their fans want to kill themselves after.
Well, you know, they threw them in the hospital there. Pulling their life support out. I'm sorry, that's bad. Let's see.
Kentucky, Missouri battle the mid.
Yeah. Let's see.
Missouri pulls it out. That'd be fun.
Who's new on the hot seat this week? Ken Wilson at Nevada. Montgomery at Tulsa's on the hot seat. There's a reason for Tulsa to win for you, KME. Coach is on the hot seat. No one else.
Yeah, my reasoning for that pick is also the same reason that I had for SMU over Cincinnati. So, because it would be cool.
Because it would be cool. Well, you got it this past weekend. It was cool that UCF beat Cincinnati.
It was true.
Yep.
That was less. That was less. It would be cool. That was more football reasoning for that one.
Yeah.
The only reason I was tempted to pick against them was because of Gus Malzahn.
Yeah.
Cincinnati has had a hard time replacing their NFL talents all over the field, so, which is understandable because it's Cincinnati, but
Yeah, you're right.
they've not looked terribly great. So. That's about it for games that I can see.
Yeah, there's really not that many good games this week.
I wouldn't say that.
I mean, not unranked games.
Oh, yeah. Should we just go into Heisman and then end the podcast then? So Joey can end this.
Yes, I didn't know Levi left. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I still think Hendon Hooker, in my opinion, leads the Heisman race.
Yeah. This is Didn't really have many or any Heisman moments at all against Bama, so this is his chance to make that play.
I
Although he is clearly the
I
front
and
runner.
at least one other analyst disagree with you because we both thought that the game-winning drive was pretty good by Hooker. To stand tall in the pocket and still get the ball downfield despite you being short on time.
Yeah.
And then now this will be a game to actually give him a defining Heisman moment to march into Athens and beat Georgia. Yeah. But even if he, balls out and has like 300 passing yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns, whatever, he has to keep it close. I still think he'll be, top 3 in the Heisman race.
Oh yeah, as long as he takes care of the ball, it's if
yeah,
they lose,
yeah.
still top number 1. So.
And I mean, it's something he's been really good at all year. Outside of the Alabama game, is not throwing interceptions and not fumbling the ball.
Yeah, well, this is another solid defense with guys that can make plays, though.
It is. Let's see.
Basically, so if Hendon Hooker wins this game, he might have it. He might overtake CJ as the favorite, but if he loses, it might be CJ Stroud's to.
He already is the favorite over CJ, though.
But,
he overtook CJ this week.
Yeah, I thought CJ played a pretty solid game despite not having a run.
Yeah, it's Penn State though, and Penn State is really has not been impressive all year. They get really close wins against teams like Northwestern.
Penn State has a good defense, and he dropped like 350 on them. So we're not gonna. It's not like he had a. Penn State's like a bad defense.
I think Heisman moments will come either in Georgia game for Hooker or Michigan game for Stroud. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'll be it.
It's basically those two, and then maybe like Hyatt and Corum and May.
I don't know if I would put. I don't know about May, but Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to put in there, and you put Duggan in there.
Hooker's also got another shot at Alabama too, looking like they're gonna win the West. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is like the last of Tennessee's tough schedule because after this, they get the easy ride through Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
It is.
So,
there's 11 games for.
This is the end of the brunt of their schedule, and I'm sure that's what Heupel's telling them too. Is like, this is the last big dog you've got. Go out there, give them hell, show them what you're made of.
Yeah, go ahead, Cam. What were you gonna say?
I'm gonna say it's basically either you get 11-11 and you get no SEC East title, no SEC championship appearance, no playoff appearance possibly, or you go 12-0 and you can get all those things. That's what this game is basically up to for Tennessee.
Let's see. Yeah, this is for the East. Yeah. Unless, hang on, let me see something. Unless Georgia goes out and decides to drop the ball to somebody, one of these other really awful teams, Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Georgia Tech. Which I don't see happening at all. I think
this is for the East for sure.
Yeah, this is absolutely the last really tough game for either of these two teams. After this, it's easy sailing for both of them.
Yeah.
Man, Georgia got a really easy schedule this year. This is the only tough game Georgia has outside of Oregon, I guess. But, I mean, Samford, South Carolina, Kent State. This non-con sucks. And then Kent State was closer the first half. Missouri, and they were trailing the whole game to Missouri. And they got Auburn at home and blew the brakes off them. Vanderbilt, of course, and then Florida. That's crazy. They've only allowed 20-plus points twice, three times. Two of them were Power 5. The other one was Kent State.
Yeah.
I think this Tennessee offense is really going to give them hell, though. I think it's going to be the toughest challenge they've seen all year by far.
Yeah.
If Georgia wins this game, then you absolutely get Georgia and Alabama back in the college playoffs, regardless of who wins the SEC championship. It'll be Georgia, Alabama, but the winner and loser both make it.
Alabama loses, they're out. They have 2 losses.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Well, haven't they made it with 2 losses before?
And they still have to play LSU, so if they somehow win the West and somehow lose that game.
I mean, this year we get to play at LSU. It's not we have to.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Another stat pad game for the team.
Let's see. Yeah, they get LSU and they're at LSU and then at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
That Ole Miss game is going to be really high scoring, I think. Another high-powered offense versus high-powered offense game.
I think the LSU game is going to be more high-scoring than the Ole Miss game.
No.
I think the LSU game will be more lopsided than the Ole Miss game will be.
So that's the exact.
No, you said higher scoring. Yeah. I think Ole Miss puts up more than LSU does. I just don't trust anything LSU does.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess so. Either of you got anything else to add?
Nope.
I don't believe so either.
That's about it, yeah.
All right. With all that said, that'll do it. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Shades of Red podcast, and we'll see you all next week.